Hi, I'm Phil, and welcome to Rovin's Den. Thanks for tuning in once again. Today, I'm going to bring you a review of a book that was recently gifted to me by my family. It's a book that's been on my want list for quite a while to replace my dumbbells that I use for working out. Just kidding. We will see the heftiness of this book. It's an amazing book. I can't recommend it enough. I'm going to take a deep dive, look through it with you, and hope that I'm able to convince you that this book is worth the purchase. That book, of course, is this book here. It's Metallica, all the songs, a breakdown history, the story behind every single track. It's a fantastic book. As you can see, it's quite thick there. You can see the oops, I was upside down there. You can see there the wonderful, wonderful font and stuff that's used, and of course that image there in the back. It's a fantastic book, and let's take a look inside. All right, so here you can see the Metallica book, Metallica, all the songs, the story behind every track, written by Benoit Clerc, I'm imagining how his name is pronounced. And you can see here this wonderful, beautiful, sleek cover that's on it here, and a brief description of the book. It actually says here that it goes up to hardwired to self-destruct, but we'll see in a moment it actually goes up to their newest as of 2025 album as well, 72 Seasons. But just a wonderful book. You can see that the actual hardcover mimics the jacket here with the font removed. Yeah, that's the thing about reading books that sucks, is that it starts to crease already when you first get it. The binding rather, in the back matches the sleeve as well. Very nicely done. Just a beautiful stark contrast of the shadows here. Wonderful. One thing I always find interesting about bands, though, is that they look so glum. I mean, it is Metallica after all, but some smiles? I don't know. Very interesting. But wonderful book. You'll see that it's broken down into all the different albums. And the thing that's wonderful about this book is it includes the one-offs, or the things that most people wouldn't assume there would be in a book that covers them. And that just shows you that this book is so exhaustive. I mean, it has Lulu. I guess certain people really appreciate that album. It includes Death Magnetic. I'd say the same thing. Certain people probably appreciate that. I'm sure underneath the mess of brickwalling, there is a good album in there. Rhino Hi-Fi. That's the one right there. That's the one. But even live recordings and things that appeared, it doesn't list it here, but things that appear on other artists and singles and things like that are included in here as well. It's such a wonderful, wonderful book, and it has the glossary, the bibliography, and the index. And this is something that I really appreciate about this author and all his hard work and attention to detail that he did, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But you see here, again, just from the cover, this beautiful image here of the guys, the current lineup of Robert, Lars, James, and Kirk, just in a wonderful forward here. And this book is like an essay about the band, as well as their each individual song throughout their career. And it talks about the birth of a monster here. Now, one thing about this is it talks about the founding of the band, and of course Ron McGovney is mentioned with his partnership with James in the starting of what ended up becoming Metallica. It would have been nice to see Ron here and Dave Mustaine as well for this opening shot. It would have been nice to see them here, but this is good enough. I mean, this is the first official band that actually released an album. But yeah, beautiful shot there. I just love it. And look how towering and lank Cliff was. It would have been mesmerizing to see him play in concert live, I'm sure, with that hair. And boy, but look how young they look. It's so amazing. Here we see the influences of going on in the metal scene at the time. Oh, his head's cut off a little bit, but here we have Judas Priest. I have a video that I'm planning on their discography myself. I have a couple more to pick up the actual vinyl of before I do that, but I'm going to do that. And then, of course, here is Lemmy and Motorhead. I have an interesting story about Lemmy. One time I went to a small club on the Sunset Strip. I can't remember which club it was. It may have been the Rainbow, but there was a bluegrass band advertised that were doing covers of Motorhead. And when my pals and I arrived, it wasn't a cover band, it was Motorhead, and they played their songs in bluegrass fashion. And there couldn't have been more than 50 people in the room. And from me to the other side of my table here, basically, was where Lemmy was. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was very, very close. And hearing Ace of Spades done in the style of Billy Strings was quite a fascinating treat. And I got to see them in Berlin one time as well, along with Dylan, 2 different concerts, Dylan and Motorhead, when I was on a commercial shoot. But that was such a fascinating experience. And a surprise, the producer surprised us to both those concerts, so that was really cool. Here again, just more, and finally we see this image of Dave and James, and I watched some videos of them performing, and Dave did a lot of the mic work, the banter with the audience and introducing of the songs and stuff beforehand. And it even talks about that here, how James focused really on just performing the songs and let Dave handle everything else. But would have been cool to see them as well. Again, just wonderful the how Motley Crue helped them get their start, and just the wonderful images here, and the background of the band itself. Wonderful shot of Cliff, and you can just see, talks about each of the, oops, didn't mean to see that one, and all the different guys here. And I'm thankful it even talks about Dave and his biography book that he wrote. Was a fascinating book. If you've not read it, I highly recommend it. Then we got here on Cliff. So I'm just so thankful. Now, again, it would have been cool to see more on Kirk and stuff as well. But again, here we go. We talk Hit the Lights. And the thing about this book is amazing is it talks about the different versions that have been recorded, and the length of the song, and who wrote it, the name of the song, and the genesis of it, and the production behind it, and then a little bit of images and stuff from the time here. The only thing that I would say about this book that I felt was lacking was there's Kirk, was the lack of lyrics. And I didn't read through the whole book, but I don't recall seeing lyrics in here. So it would have been really, really cool to see lyrics and whatnot written in here. And one of the things that I really, really appreciate about this, and as I said, it's really an exhaustive essay-style book, is the footnotes here, and you go to the bibliography to look those up. So everything is done the way that you learn in English class about proper annotating where your sources come from. And you won't see Wikipedia here, my friends, but again, just hilarious images, some never before seen with these eyes. And again, just each individual song, and you can see how wonderful the layouts are. I just love the attention here. And here you can see the fun rowdiness that the boys are having. And look how young Kirk looks. Good grief, he looks so young. It's phenomenal. But you see him tearing it up here, just the whole band. And it's a massive, massive tome. The book itself is, 530 pages or so. It's amazing, and it talks about more various releases of discs and things that are out there. It's a fantastic look. Here's the boys backstage after a performance. Of course, Satriani, his famous pose there, for those of you who are fans of his, amazing guitarist. And then finally we get to Ride the Lightning. And the wonderful thing about each album that they go through is they tell you the name of the album, they tell you the track list, and then when it was released in the US, by which label, and when it was released elsewhere, by which label. And I hear the Music for Nations 45 is the way to get this early part of their catalog, and it would be amazing to be able to find those in the wild and acquire those myself. But I'm skipping through. Again, you can just see how inspiration came from even science fiction type of tales or fantasy tales. hilarious picture here of Diamond Head. But and then, good grief, Lars, this is a funny picture, but I greatly appreciate every page and the beautiful images that are here. I better cover that up. I don't want to get dinged on YouTube. But again, And Justice for All, another album that would be great to hear with actual bass line released at some point. Please, somebody, Rhino Hi-Fi, do all of these. I think you guys might be able to get access. I'm not sure. This is, oh goodness, that's a problem with rock magazines, I guess. Wonderful story here about Cliff's rings and how James kept them. Again, GNR and the Creeping Death. I did see this in the wild the other day. The Creeping Death record. I did not pick it up. It was a little scratched, but just wonderful. How it talks about the inspiration even dating way back between and Bob Rock's famous Black album and a lot of time spent there. There's Jason here, of course, and there's an image in here that I came across and I thought it was really fascinating, and let's see if I come across it as I'm flipping through, that you guys may have never noticed before, and perhaps you have. But that's a wonderful image of Kirk. It's just a fantastic image there when they gone with their short hair for the oh, come on now, Load era. And again, just Cowboy Kirk, man. And if you've not watched his interview with Rick Beato and his talking about his Les Paul that he acquired, I won't go into more detail, but it's a fascinating watch. I highly recommend. There's good old Waylon. Just a fantastic view. Now this is the image here. Is it me, or does this not look like Morgan Spurlock there? They should have done a Morgan Spurlock before he passed. It would have been great to see him do a Metallica documentary. I don't know, but he usually focused on exposing things though. But yeah, golly, sure looks like Morgan Spurlock there. Again, just exhaustive here, images and information of every single song in it. Oh, look at, there's Dre. We go back to the as I said, the look at Lou Reed. Fantastic photo. Not a fan in my eyes, and everybody might. If you are a fan of the Lulu album, I really want to hear you in your comments. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to give it another listen. Maybe vinyl is the way to go. I did stream it. That's the only way I've ever heard it. But fantastic. Just writing all along, and then Through the Never. Oh, re-release this, please, in IMAX. I missed it its first round, but it would be amazing to be able to see this in IMAX once again. Have it in Dio. One of my favorite vocalists of all time. I absolutely love almost all Dio's albums, except for the Elf stuff, but that's another story, I guess. And then Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Now, granted, they don't get into too much detail. Amy. And they don't get into too much detail about 18 Seasons, but they do touch upon it briefly. Here we go. So you get some information about it, and then you get the singles, as I mentioned, and what affiliation Metallica might have with those. So very, very fascinating. Good, excellent image of Robert there. Yeah, and then here they are in their elder years and still looking so svelte and amazing here with his flying V. Amazing Kirk, just fantastic. I highly recommend this book. It is a wonderful, wonderful read. Something, the thing about this book is you don't have to be a mega Metallica fan to appreciate this book. If you're a fan of music and a fan of how songs are crafted and created, this book is for you. I highly recommend picking it up. You have a lot of the bootlegs here as well and things. And then here's the glossary for those that might not be familiar with terminology. Here is that bibliography I mentioned where the author got his information in compiling his sources. And he did compile some web sources here, you'll see, and none of them are Wikipedia. So And I apologize if it's really hard to make out, but that just means you got to go and get the book. The book can be had for probably discounted prices at your half-off books occasionally, or on Amazon. But you'll see here that the U.S. price is $60 and Canadian is $65. Not sure if that's changed in the recent going-ons, but an amazing book. Metallica, all the songs, the story behind every track by Benoit Clerc. Highly, highly recommend. Well, there you have it. That's our look inside the book Metallica, all the songs. Again, like I said, this book is a fantastic read. You don't have to be a fan of Metallica, a diehard fan, to appreciate it. Even if you're just a on-the-fence fan, occasional fan, you jam along when it's playing on the radio or whatnot, or even just a fan of music, this is a book to see the inner workings behind the crafting of the music and the cycle of a band. It's such a fascinating read. The author has others that he's written, and there's more in the series as well from other authors. There's one on Bob Dylan. I think it's part of a series, but it has the same title, all the songs. But this author has one on Queen, he has one on David Bowie, and he has one on Prince. All three of those, I'm sure, are fantastic books if they follow the same format as this book here. Again, highly recommended. Wasn't provided to me by anyone other than my family, so I'm not a shill for anyone. Please like and subscribe to this video if you enjoyed it. It'll allow me to eventually be able to provide more product reviews such as this, and of course set that notification button if you'd like to be notified when I release my next video. I've got a few more in the pipeline that I'm working on. One of them is going to be a review of the Judas Priest discography and the ranking of that. As I said when I was looking through the book, just a couple more vinyl copies that I'd like to pick up before I'm able to do that, and a couple other surprises as well. I really appreciate the views and the comments that I've been getting. Please do leave some more positive comments for me if you have any. I'm very curious about if you've read this book or any of the others and your impressions, even if it's by one of the other authors, and I'm assuming it is part of a series. I'm interested in that. And what else we'd like to see? As I said, I'd really like to see something from this band, this author, or the series on like a Black Sabbath or Judas Priest, or even the Scorpions. Oh man, that would be stellar to get that. And even some non-rock. Seems like most of them are rock oriented, but getting some from the likes of like an Amy Mann. Oh man, those are vinyls that need to be repressed. Please, somebody repress those Amy Mann vinyls. I digress. But yeah, books like this, and especially this one, really helps to appreciate the music, appreciate what is there in the songs, that you can sit back and relax, and the mystery is gone, the magic is alive. And it really helps you appreciate, and no matter what form it is, be it streaming, the high res, or even the lossy streaming, CDs, hey, even cassettes. I do have a few cassettes of early Metallica stuff. But most importantly for me, the vinyl, and it really helps me appreciate the magic that is in those grooves. I'll see you next time.